back, everyone, to the 2014 European Challenger Series, and it's time for the second game of tonight's quarterfinal match between Departed and Cloud9 Eclipse. Now, with one more win, Departed not only get revenge on C9E, but they lock in a spot in the Challenger postseason.
Yeah, Departed survived Cloud9 Eclipse's early game team composition and took over in the mid game, and Nick 760 led the way. You know, he was chunking out Cloud9 as Nidalee, and he chunked out Cloud9 so hard. He went 6-1 and 10, just got snowballing and getting that objective control for his team and the zoning, as well as some sieging. Every time they tried to siege up, Departed was there, and they were like, nope. Just, Nick is like, take some spears and be on your way. And then Ro8 as well, he went 9-0-9.
Yeah.
Not dying at all that game as Lucian, and up against a Caitlyn, that very early game bully.
Yeah, so let's break these down individually. I know you said last time that you're like, hey, look, you know, I really think that C9E's jungler should have been camping bottom lane and knocking Ro8 down. Let's explain that match a little bit. Okay, so Caitlyn Morgana pushed them in early on. CS lead for C9E. Ro8 kind of said, okay, well, my lane's behind, but never gave up any kills, never dropped down, kind of sat there in the back, farmed what he could. And then when he got teleport Mundo ganks or ganks in from the mid lane roam, things like that, turn them into advantages. And then every single team fight was like, well, it's a squishy Renekton, I can kill every time. It's a squishy Wukong, I can kill every time. And when you've got the top laner and the jungle building squishy to start out, getting a full offensive item before anything else, it's just like, oh, I'm going to shoot them and they're all going to die. It's going to be wonderful.
Yeah, this was kind of reminiscent of the XDG versus Cloud9 over in the LCS. Okay. When Cloud9 picked a composition with Gragas top, Lee Sin in the jungle, and they didn't build any type of defensive item for a very long time. Yeah. Up against, I think it was a Shyvana in the top lane, Benny was just like, I'm just going to outscale you, and boom, jump straight into the fight, and you can't kill me.
It's true.
And then our ADC is just going to have the pick of the litter. No matter who he hits, it's going to be doing a lot of damage, and there wasn't a lot of armor, so not a lot of mitigation. Yeah.
And that was, Zuna on Caitlyn had a wonderful job, killed everybody. The frontline tank worked really well, and oddly enough, here we are in the post-game here where, squishy Renekton, squishy Wukong, the Lucian from Ro8 got to kill everybody, and that worked wonderfully. Well, let's look at the mid lane matchup, because I was really impressed by Nick 760. Played some Nidalee, never really got engaged on. The few times they tried, he could barrier and flash and get out, and those javelins just hit so hard the whole time.
Yeah, and they actually have different playstyles between Fibevin and Nick 760. Like you said, Fibevin, big assassin player. Yeah. Didn't pick one up this game, picked Lulu, but that's because Nick plays that. And he played that previously in, I believe, the round of 10. Or the round of 20. He played in the round of 20 to great effect and carried his team. And so they were saying, we're going to pick up Lulu first pick so that you don't have it. But I don't know how that's going to go this game. I think Champ Select is going to be vastly different. Yeah. And Cloud9 Eclipse is going to put on their serious hats here and get a composition that isn't something where, oh, we're fighting this team that's...
Let's steal their picks.
Yeah.
I never really liked that.
Play what you're good at.
Yeah, it's like, okay, if you're, like, because right now, like, AD carry champion pool is, like, pretty small, and you kind of play the same ones. And, okay, those you can share, but, like, when you're an assassin mid lane player, and you're like, yeah, my most played are, like, LeBlanc, Yasuo, Riven, and Zed. I'm going to play Lulu this game. And it's like, okay, you're a very good player, and I'm sure you can play Lulu, but you're playing against some of the best teams in your region. You better play your, like, S-tier champions, the ones that you know their play style and you know the plays that you can make. To be honest, Fibevin was so low impact that game.
Yeah,
right?
That's not him.
No.
Fibevin likes to roam around the map and get more map control. Yeah. Lulu, you sit in lane, you clear it, and then your ganks are basically, I'm going to stop this person from dying, and I'm going to let them tower dive a little bit. Maybe I'll throw some glitter lances. It's not like a Zed. I come straight in. I'm doing the damage.
Right, and think about it. Like, think back to, like, even when C9E became a team in the very beginning, right? When they got put together, it was a bunch of Challenger solo queue players and Voidal, who then hit, like, top 5 Challengers. So a bunch of, like, super top-end Challenger players put a team together saying we're the most mechanically skilled team in Europe, which is pretty much true, and then said, all right, well, we actually rival LCS teams in scrims right now. That's, like, the beginning of C9E. It's like, we can beat up LCS teams because we're just so damn good early game. We can all just make plays. We're all individually amazing. We'll learn the teamwork over time. And then they get their individual players off the type of champions they're going to play. They, like, remove the initial, like, trump card these guys had and say, well, you know, go be a passive laner and just farm and wait for team fights. Like, that's not even the C9E way.
Yeah, it's not their MO. And it seemed a little uncomfortable for them because they usually like to have these objective-controlled pick comps. Yeah. Right? Complete opposite with a utility mid laner like that. And I'm looking at Fibevin, And like Kayle is like one of his champions way off in the back that he plays, which is a utility mid laner. I'm not sure how familiar he is with
carry potential.
Lulu. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Because you can just burst people down. Lulu's burst comes in like different chunks.
It's not terrible.
It's like
it's
not sustained. It's like I'm gonna hit you now, and now.
Yeah.
And then now. And
it's like to be fair, like Lulu does have burst, right? Like you have help picks, which is about a 0.6 offensive
and then
ratio.
You can glitter lance twice.
Right. The glitter lance is about I think 5.5, 0.6, something around there. You can get that a couple of times off, and then you have your Lich Bane auto attack with like picks on there. It's like, okay, that's close to Kayle's QE combo. But then after that, Kayle's going to do way more than Natural's Tooth swinging at you than Lulu's going to. And of course, yes, we talk about Lulu being more of a supportive mid lane, and that's all true, and that's all well and fine. But you're right. I want to see Fibin back onto a more carry champion. I want to see Odwamna something more self-sufficient, where it's either you let the Renekton just be Renekton and win his lane and leave him alone, or you say, well, if we're going to camp for you, go play Jax or Shyvana or something that will scale into late game.
Or Aurelia.
Yeah, or Aurelia. Heck, he's played a whole bunch of Aurelia.
Yeah.
Like, Wicked's been bringing out, doing a great job with that one.
Aurelia was his Season 3 baby in solo queue. I think even Season 2 for Odwamna. Then he whipped it out in the previous Challenger Series. Be like, whoa, what's happening? Aurelia's back, and it looks like she might be.
Yeah.
A win for Alliance today.
Aurelia's back. Everybody's happy. Well, the top laner's having nightmares.
She fares against Renekton kind of like how everybody else does. He's just going to bully you very, very early on. If you can get through that, then he's not as high impact as you are.
It's true. So. And you get true damage, which is wonderful and glorious and happy. And you buy Trinity Force on it, which means she's the best champion in the game, along with Lucian and Ezreal and Corki. Sorry, I'm just reminiscing about Trinity Forces now.
Okay, I was about to be like, because of the changes to Corki's Phosphorus Bomb, where it now has an AD ratio, is it better to build more AD? Or go for Trinity Force?
So Trinity Force will still give you some damage on it because it has 30 AD itself. I mean, the Bloodthirster Rush that most AD carriers are doing is going to be, I guess, comparatively stronger. I still feel like for the way Corki is now, actually, especially with rockets being slower, there actually is more measured for Trinity Force procs. And that's still just a perfectly fine build.
Okay.
We'll see when he comes back into play what kind of builds everyone's going for.
If he comes back.
He'll come back. He always does. Corki's awesome like that. We are into the game ourselves, the guys. Get us underway. Thresh again banned against Voidal. Riven once again banned away from Fibivin. The Kassadin removed by red team. C9E will add the Lulu. You were right. It was a pick to try to steal it. That didn't work out, so they banned it from Nick.
Yeah. Because they aren't going to pick it up, and it would be first picked here by Departed. No question, because I know Nick loves that champion.
Yeah.
And everything else coming out here, the Riven, taking that away from Babunya. But they banned it out themselves, so it does stop a carry top laner and mid laner. Actually, Fibevin plays that too.
Yeah.
So, no
they
big
go for Leona, so they're pinching support picks. You know, Annie was grabbed on the first rotation here for Departed. They could be pinching for the Annie and then pushing, like they might just want Morgana Annie again. Elise banned away.
Yeah, you really only leave 2 supports on the table. Exactly. So he had such a great showing on that previously.
Yep.
Up against Morgana. He's saying, come at me, bro. Let's do it again.
Yep.
They really like that matchup.
And
gonna bait it out.
Yeah, and now that Elise is banned, we'll see what C9E grabs here. Of course, they did Wukong last time. They did grab the Renekton top pretty early. They grabbed Caitlyn pretty early. I think Caitlyn's still a great choice here. Survives the Annie lane quite well.
Now, is IHasCo under a different name?
I don't honestly know.
I don't know.
I've been skirting around the fact, but just calling him IHas and ignoring. Unfortunately, I'm not aware of any roster changes or if it was a name change.
It could be a sub.
Could be. Could very well be a sub. Unfortunately, I didn't check that one. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, and we apologize for that because Co brings a lot of things to the table, like Gragas jungle. But Pantheon, if he's hovering over that, would allow him to get around the map and gank bottom lane a little more effectively. I think
Pantheon.
That's my favorite. Like, I played Pantheon for the first time. I was kind of one of those people who was like, oh, I don't want to play that champion. I played it for the first time. It's so good at ganking bottom and mid lane. Just once you hit 6, there's 2 people to kill down bottom.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Right on top of them.
And speaking of things going right on top of them, Zyra been grabbed. So you set him up with the Grand Skyfall. Now I want to see if that's mid lane Zyra or support Zyra. Support more likely here, but not a guarantee.
It's not type of champion that Fibevin plays.
It's a Voidal type champion though.
Yes, it is a Voidal type champion. And his Morgana didn't have the best showing on that.
Yeah.
Especially against an Annie, which they already locked in. and they really just stretched that champion pool very thin. Lulu even off the table, Thresh Leona, Annie taken away. Top 4 supports gone.
Could have played Karma.
Could have played Karma. That is true.
He
has played that. I think he played that in the previous Spring Challenger, like round of 20.
I don't remember honestly which round. I just know he's played it.
Very early on.
It's a big champ from in solo queue as well, but not the Karma. Likely the Zyra support here. With Pantheon off the table, it's going to be an early grab here of Wukong. So Departed, one, they're taking a really long time with their picks, but two, they're like, I want to wait to see your solo lane before we do anything else.
Yeah, so they pick up the jungler and ADC. Same bottom lane here for Departed. It worked out well for them. Woolite, amazing showing, 909.
Yeah.
Basically infinite KDA. Or if you do it by kills per life, 18.
Yeah, there you go.
But now they take away...
Well, kills per life would be 9. Kills and assists per life would be 18.
Okay.
Ha! Ha! Correcting him for no good reason.
That's my favorite.
So useful. I'm such a good addition to this commentary duo.
Semantics.
It's wonderful. Not just an antivirus.
Yeah, but this, because they lock in bottom lane and jungler, like you said, they're waiting for the solo lanes. Since they have to pick their 4th slot here, they're going to reveal something.
So Caitlyn I like here. Covers up the Zyra pick, very long ranged. C9E still making their decision. They're taking such a long time, longer than I normally see teams take with picks, but they're using every second they possibly can. Trundle, Orianna. So you know what? We need to blind pick something here for one of these lanes. Just go with Trundle. It'll work against most things. Honestly, Fabivin or Adwamna already played it plenty. One of his big champions. Trundle it is.
Yeah, don't blind pick your mid laner when you put so much on him.
It's true.
Allow Departed to pick their mid laner first so that you can get an advantage and see what's coming to the table. Because it looked like it was going to be Orianna, and I was sitting there like, I don't know if you want to do that. Gragas is still open.
Yeah.
A lot could have happened there. But now we get to see what Departed want to bring to the table. And actually, before that, I want to talk about what Cloud9 Eclipse has here.
Okay.
Before they pick their mid laner, they have a very gank-heavy jungler who's kind of that level 6 early game jungler. He doesn't take a lot of damage either underneath turrets.
Yeah.
If you use rotations on your passive and your Aegis of Zionia perfectly, you can tower dive no problem. And going down bottom might be what they're aiming for here against somebody as immobile as Annie. And Lucian, you can still close that distance fairly easily.
So we're looking at Kayle right now then on the Departed side. For what it's worth, I don't think this is likely, but Zyra's actually really good against Kayle because you outrange her with everything you ever do.
Okay.
I don't think it's likely though. Again, it's not really a Fabivin champion, but Zyra is actually very good against Kayle.
Okay. So I've actually been informed that IHAZ is a sub.
Okay.
And Zoko is not around right now. So Cloud9 Eclipse.
New jungler. New Gragas.
New jungler.
Gragas. Okay.
Yeah. All right, so it's Gragas mid lane up against the Kayle. Kayle is a very safe pick in the mid lane. Plays like a utility mid laner like Nidalee in the early game and Lulu. So very similar play styles there. So it's right up the alley for Nick. But Fabivin is on that Gragas. Not exactly an assassin, but he's a really big assassin. He's got mobility.
Very bursty, a lot of damage. You bring him for the damage.
Good wave clear, too.
Absolutely.
So he's kind of a jack of all trades.
He is.
Massive wave clear, great mobility and roaming potential, and team fights. Drawback is that he's melee.
So is Kayle half the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You can't get cooldown.
Right.
You can't get enough cooldown reduction to get it so that it's always up.
Yes. You get close to that usually as Kayle. You have like a couple seconds of downtime. So
yeah.
Got our champ select done. It's going to be support Zyra. Zyra, Caitlyn bottom lane versus the same lane we saw last time, Lucian, Annie for Departed. That one I think has a bit, better chance of being more well-rounded here for C9E. And of course, their backs up against the wall. They want to make sure they pick up what's best for them. They choose that Zyra here is going to be the pick here for Voidal. Gragas mid, I think a better look here for Fabivin. More damage-oriented, should help him a bit.
Yeah.
Fighting up against Kayle.
I was talking to Nidus Sermain.
Okay.
And he was saying that Zyra's completely fine. I don't know why we don't see it more often.
Yeah.
Like, I think you talked about it yesterday. No, last time on Sunday.
Yeah.
You were saying people are playing so much Morgana. Why don't we see these disengaged champions come out like Zyra?
Right.
And I like that pick from Voidal. Not unfamiliar with that champion, so it's not like he's picking up a Lulu mid for the first time or just trying to deny something. He also brings Ignite, so that's going to signal that he's aggressive. He's not going for an exhaust to just survive the lane. But he is still squishy. So if the stun lands from Perm, and they just full combo him with Woolite, it's very possible that Voidal's going to be the #1 target here. in that bottom lane.
He'll be, yeah, that's the thing about Zyra is, you remember, like, if you watch Season 3 Worlds, how often you saw Zyra, like, dying to Ahri? Because she can't really defend against assassins. But Departed, not assassin heavy. So getting in on Voidal will be obvious in a way. You'll see it coming for the most part, and hopefully can play around that. We'll see if Voidal can get the disengages and the re-engages. A lot of big area of effect abilities too. Gragas ulti, right? Pantheon Skydrop.
Yeah. Grand Skyfall from
Zyra ulti.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of
big area.
You'll see
hits.
rings coming out.
A lot of rings.
Yeah, and IHAZ is actually replacing Ko in the overall for the remainder of the tournament because Ko is too young to participate in the LCS. He tweeted about it earlier.
Okay.
And because he wouldn't be able to participate in the age restriction,
C9E practicing with what their new starting roster would be.
Yeah. So IHAZ is actually going to synergize with the top laner a lot, like he's been showing going with Odwamna over and over again with those ganks.
Yeah.
He's going to have to get a little friendlier with his new teammates in bottom and mid.
See if he can do it. With man drops, it'll help. And, the same thing actually happened with NIP with Amin.
Yeah.
Is they're like, we're on our way to the LCS. We need to get a roster that can play in that tournament. And they had to sub out their jungler as well. So a couple of these teams making these choices as they get closer to the LCS, but choosing early enough in the running that they're like, hey, we got to start practicing with this now and not the last second.
Yeah, and once again up in the top lane, another Doran's Blade for Odwamne. Going for the early aggression, extra damage against a Mundo, trying to keep him down. Didn't work too well for him last time. Gonna have to see how it plays out. In this bottom lane, that camp was a little cheeky there.
Let's see if they continue this one right here. So we'll look around at the lanes. Yearn and Voidal taking a bit of pain. After their early antics there, Perm and Voidal trading blows right here. But losing a bit of health. Potions chugged. Voidal deep in utility to get 2 potions. We'll see how well the C9E lane can poke them out. You're seeing Voidal outrange Willite a little bit and do a little bit of damage on his way through.
Willite is really good at lining up the piercing light. Very good. We saw it in the team fights previously, and just during the landing phase, his harassment is great.
He's doing an absolutely amazing job of this one. The junglers, going to keep track of them real quick. About to get level 3 on each of them. We did not see... We actually did see a fair number of Wukong ganks early on from when he was on C9E, when that was IHAZ playing it.
Yes.
Despite having no real CC early game, he still managed to make it work. I want to see if that happens again here. If we get any Wukong ganks early on.
Wukong's a very sneaky ganker. He's kind of like an Evelynn for a couple seconds after the decoy, and then he just dives straight at you with the Nimbus strike.
See what they can find. Look at the bottom again. Voidal taken down to half HP. Pretty standard laning phase, I gotta say, for these guys. So, C9E back against the wall. They still have a pretty decent shot at the playoffs anyway.
Yes.
I forget if they're entirely guaranteed from their initial first place finish. I believe
they have 9 points.
Yeah, you're practically guaranteed first place if you, or a spot in the playoffs if you make first place.
Plus the 2 points that they're gonna get from this.
They're sitting at 11. I don't believe they can be beaten here.
Yeah.
But they can lose their first round bye if they drop out here, which is an important point. A lot of good teams here, and you're seeing this right there. They're dropping down a little bit to Departed. The more points they have to face, the worse it is for them.
IHAZ invading. He wants a fight. Gonna try to bring it to that Mundo in the top lane like before, but it's warded up. Oh, Departed are saying, we saw you guys. Oh, sorry, C9 Eclipse is like, we played that game.
Yeah.
Now we know.
Well, it's worth pointing out, though, as well, that Pantheon is a much better in-jungle fighter than Wukong. If they meet each other, it's so much better here for IHAZ.
Yeah.
The Bunyan timing the gank timer. Knows IHAZ is in this brush at this point. He knows he went up the river. They pinged him out. Bunyan playing far enough back, he's not going to get caught.
He's a passive top laner anyway. It's not going to hurt him too much.
Yeah.
And like you said, so much in Pantheon's kit. If you're Pantheon, go invade the enemy. If he doesn't get any help, you'll kill him. Heartseeker Strike passive is so good once you get them low, and you will absorb a lot of damage in your rotation with your Aegis.
More damage coming off on the Willite. I like the super long-range poke lane. I really do. I think it does something that Annie, Caitlyn doesn't do. It's a lot more damage from range, whereas Annie's more of all-in based. And you're seeing Willite, he's chugged his potion, Perm has 2, and these guys are still losing health. Once again, C9E are winning the early laning phase in this duo lane. They just haven't converted it in the first game. We'll see if they can convert it here.
Yeah, and I really think it was the ganks that turned it around. We had both the jungler and the top laner coming down for Departed, turning it around. And they just keep getting pushed back to their turret, but the CS is pretty much even.
It is. Well, one thing to keep in mind is that the plants are only worth, I believe, 5 gold.
Yeah, it's true. And it does count as
and they
CS.
do count.
That's right.
And I know at least one of them picked up. I saw it on camera. So there's going to be a slightly inflated minion lead here to Ro8 over time. And we'll see where it pans out. Lucian's especially good at killing Zyra plants because he gets that double shot passive. So we'll see if it goes anywhere. Also, Annie really good at killing Zyra plants. Auto attack Q will one-shot the plant, and you'll just tick up your timer.
Oh, and get your stun
and
ready.
Get your stun more closer to ready. So Perm can actually very easily remove Zyra plants, and that could be part of the reason he has 2 minion kills here. Is that it's very easy to remove Zyra plants as Annie.
Nice.
We haven't seen that lane since World, so.
Level 6.
Oh, he lands the body slam. Forbidden, do you have the damage? Ignite is on.
He hit 6.
Hits 6 and ults himself. Now Kikis goes forward. He's 5. Does he have the damage pick up? Flashes in. Q's gonna land. Kill picked up by Kikis. 27 to 20 minions, and the kill, of course, worth a lot.
Level 6 came out there first for Forbidden. Goes all in on Nick. Minions die. Gets level 6. Just absorb the last couple ticks of Ignite.
That is heartbreaking.
Kikis was there. His attention is in the right lanes.
Yeah.
So comes straight out of the Fog of War, closes the distance, uses his flash. He won't have that available. Neither will Nick or Forbidden. And this mid lane just got broken wide open here. And you don't want to KO to get to that 3-item point early.
7-minute Stinger is pretty scary. She's going to be able to push waves very easily. Pink ward's going to get swept away. IHAS puts the ward down, sees the enemy ward, says, no, don't you dare.
We had the same idea.
Yeah. My idea came later, so it was better. Yeah. Plagiarized it, actually. Ooh, the damage on the Perm, though. Ignite goes on. That could be enough damage. He flashed away, but the Ignite's going to kill him. Tries to kill some plants to level up and doesn't do it. 1 kill picked up by Voidal. There's that bottom lane making it work.
Just got him in the grasping route, and then the Piltover Peacemaker just lined up perfectly. And this is something we didn't see last time. We didn't see the kills ending up in the bot lane in favor of Cloud9 Eclipse. They evened up the gold.
Yeah.
So there's also an assist behind it. And that's going to force Ro8 to play even further back right now until he gets the help of Perm again. So he might actually miss a couple CS.
Oh man, Ro8 is getting lower and lower. He still hasn't recalled. Root's not going to land, but it's going to be a bit of a slow. And you see he has to give up CS, has to barrier as well. Yeah, this bottom lane going really well. And Ro8 lost a gigantic wave under his turret too.
Exactly. He would have died if he didn't barrier there. It was enough. And yeah, he loses that entire wave. And that's just going to help keep him down. And that's what Cloud9 Eclipse want. IHAS is now level 6. He can start ganking the bottom, levels up the Grand Skyfall. Knows that the barrier is down and that the flash is down from Perm. I would not be surprised to see the Stranglethorn and Grasping Root come out.
That's a really good point. These guys, they're a good team. They've been playing together. They're going to be able to communicate that type of information. You guys at home, if you got a jungler and you're like, hey guys, their AD carry doesn't have flash, the core doesn't have flash, target that guy. Junglers like free kills.
Oh yeah.
Let him know. Let him know. He'll kill him for you. Assist gold's better than nothing. Make it happen here. I got to point out that even though the kill did come through, Ro8 got pushed out of lane late enough that he can still afford a BF sword. So as far as all those advantages are concerned, the lane itself is still pretty equal. These guys are hitting pretty equal items here in that lane itself.
Teleport being used to get back up to the top lane so he doesn't miss a wave. Can push this to the turret. Nice one from Odwamne. Now Gragas going to ward, but also Pantheon off on the side, and here comes the gank down bottom.
Ro8's going to go over towards the river. Perm's got nowhere to go, but gets hit by a Tibbers, and there's the Wukong. The counter gank comes through, and Yernan not in a good spot. Trying to run away. Looks like he'll be able to. Voidal running away as well. Tibbers nailed some damage to him, but does go down. That's a good counter gank.
So junglers like free kills.
Yes, they do. That was a good read. That was an excellent read.
It was a fantastic read. I'm pretty sure Kikis was saying, you guys are going to get ganked. It's Pantheon. He always comes bottom. Like I was saying, if you're a Pantheon, you should gank bottom. And if the other jungler is smart enough to know that that's your path,
he should gank bottom.
Then he should come there too. It was not a good follow-up there by the remaining members of Cloud9 Tempest in the bottom lane.
Nope.
Yernan and Ro8 not able to follow up. Use their ultimates too. Well, Voidal does.
Yeah. And I gotta point out as well, there was a pink ward in that lower lane brush. So the opponent had that planned well in advance, saying, Wukong, we need you to sneak into this brush. This ward will make sure that you will be unspotted when you come in.
It's a good ward.
Yeah.
But usually when that ward goes down, the enemy team would play more passive.
They wouldn't know. They did it as a security
measure.
measure.
They did it as
there
security. There was nothing they cleared out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they made sure it was like, yeah, it's a free gank. Just sneak right on in.
Yeah. Well, where's Wukong going to come at you from? Typically that much. Yeah. They had a trap in it.
Didn't matter enough. So let's look at the top lane. We haven't seen it much. So last time, Odwamna got 1,000,000 ganks top, and won his lane and didn't convert much out of it. This time, Trundle versus Mundo again. Trundle going for the Blade of the Ruin King opener. Not getting any jungle pressure, but has a 10 minion kill lead. And is a better scaling late game champion.
Yes.
So different setup here for Odwamna. I think he's still going to exceed here, or excel here.
Yeah, they're going to answer that question that they didn't have an answer for last game, which is who's going to deal with Mundo? Trundle is. Subjugate is fantastic against him.
Absolutely.
Steals resistances and max HP. He's going to be good. Kiki's up top. Sniffs this one out.
All right, can he find Trundle? No, he won't. Good read by Odwamna. I was like, you know what? Something's cheeky here. Backs out.
The sadism basically said, I'm not going to get anything accomplished with that up.
Yeah.
Backs up, and Kiki's was there. So, yes, perfect read there.
Kiki's. This is one thing I want to point out, actually. So, a lot of times, when you start winning your lane, you start bashing on the turret, trying to get damage down. But a lot of the time, these guys aren't doing it because they're like, I might get ganked.
It's going in.
The flash in. There's the knockup of Odwamna. Can he get away? Puts the pillar down, goes on the other side. Doesn't matter, though. Kikis picks it up. Of course, flash was already down for Odwamna, so it doesn't pick up anything for it. Nice gank.
So now they will get something out of it. The dragon is not up, so there is no counter available from Cloud9 Eclipse to take an objective because the jungler is top. Yeah. So it's a great call. And you can also reset your auto attack with your crushing blow on the top turret. So this will most likely go down right now. But, oh, here comes the counter gank bottom. They know it can't be countered this time.
A lot of summoners available, but Ro8 is going to try to flash and barrier away. Now the jump on towards Perm. Good damage. IHA's forced to run away. Knockup lands onto Ro8. Can they go back to him? No summoners left. The ulti comes across. They find one. Can Yernan get much more? He's going to fly. Oh, he gets it. He gets it. The 90 caliber net into Piltover Peacemaker. IHA's got away. Double kill for Yernan.
So they had no objective to take, but they had some kills down bottom. It was a great read by IHA's saying, you know what, top lane, that's where Kiki's is.
Yep.
I'm going to go bottom.
You see the jungle, you go ham.
Yep. Almost cost him his life there, but it was really good. Just micromanaging there, where one of us is going to back out when we get low HP, and the next one's going to walk up from Cloud9 Eclipse. Yep. So they just rotated the damage out and picked up 2 kills for himself, giving Ro8 his first death of the series.
Oof, not ideal. We'll see. C9E needs to win this game if they want a chance at a first round bye in the Challenger playoffs. They need to win this series to do it. 3-3 in kills, only 1,000 gold separates these teams. And you've got a pretty substantial item lead in the bottom lane. Yernan is up the Bloodthirster recipe, and most of it is Berserker's Grief. So this lane will continue to go very well. You look at the mid lane. Both mid laners have completed their first major item. So these guys are pretty equal. The top lane, though, I gotta say, lead for Babunya. Sunfire's already done, and upgraded boots. He's now fighting a Ruin King, though.
Yeah, that's also gonna give more stats for Odwamna to steal away.
True.
From his subjugate. And they need Kieran to do as well as he is doing right now, which is great. Because when Odwamna steals those stats from Mundo, there's a time window when the subjugate is on. They need to be able to take him out with that heavy damage.
True.
And that's what he's going to bring to the table. And I actually like that there's a slight difference here to point out between having the recipe for Bloodthirster and the actual Bloodthirster is that you'll have yours stacked up much sooner.
Yeah.
And have that extra like 30 damage, I believe, right?
30 damage.
On top of it.
A fully stacked Bloodthirster is worth more than 1,000 gold more than an unstacked Bloodthirster.
Yeah, pickaxe.
Pretty significant. More than a pickaxe in AD. A little bit of lifesteal as well. Okay, stun on the Voidal. They have the damage, but already the counter gank from Pantheon. Kikis is around. Who's going to happen to do what? Oh my god, Willie just dies. IHA's trying to run away, not going to be able to do that. Kikis taking a bunch of pain though, puts the clone down, stun in from Perm. And Yernan find much more. Nets backwards, puts on some damage. Doesn't choose to do much more with this one.
Here comes Nick though.
Uh-oh.
Down to the bottom lane.
Kale's trying, hates herself up. Root gonna flash it. Voidal, he's gonna be going down. A little damage coming back there, but he's gonna be okay. Good roam though.
And at the same time, Febevin, champion that we thought was gonna roam around in the mid lane, pushing minions.
Pushing minions. He's gonna make some things happen at the very least with this one. Yernan.
The red buff.
Close battle. I feel like Kate wins that one, kills the clone, and he gets it. Yernan with the 1v1. Kikis Little greedy there.
It's worth a little extra, though, because he got the 25 gold from killing the clone.
525 kill.
And now he has a red buff, too, on a Caitlyn in the bottom lane.
And 3 kills. Oh, man.
That's what they needed last game to get them going. And oh, he pops it right to him.
Vivin has amazing Gragas ultis. Nick still has the ulti. He doesn't get it off in time. Vivin surprises him with the damage. Nick doesn't ulti.
It was an immense amount of damage, too. It's basically when you're like Tryndamere and you don't ulti, you're like, oh, I didn't, not in time.
Uh-oh, Babunia. Obama's gonna go. Nope, Pillar's not enough to make him die.
But they're gonna get a turret for this. Push him off of it. Jungler and the Chomp. Dragon is now up, so they could make a move from Departed to pick it up. But they are far removed from it. So they lose 2 turrets in the overall to Cloud9 Eclipse.
All right, so 2-1 in turret, 6-5 in kills. The Dragon is back alive. C9E, they want this game. They move towards the Dragon, but there's already a teleport coming in. Mundo gonna look for Yernan there, gets the briefcase onto the back. Dodges a stun, nicely done there by Yernan. The root coming in onto Perm as well. Flashes down towards the turret. Can he get away from this one? Wukong in from the back. This could be dangerous. Voidal taking a bunch of pain. There's the knock-up onto 1, knock-up onto 2. Double kill comes through for Woolite. That is big for Departed.
And Departed will most likely pick up a Dragon off the back of this too. Babunia, every time he gets to just this point where he has 1 or 2 items, he is not afraid to tank turrets with his sadism up, creating a lot of openings for his team. And this Dragon is going to get them right back into the game and into a lead.
800 gold put into Departed, back ahead right here in game 2. See if they can make that a 2-0 versus C9E. The first team to do that in the Challenger Series here. Kayle gonna roam towards the top side here. Nick does have a ward to put down. Gets some ambush there by Vivin. Good ulti. Trying to get away, haste himself up. Vivin gonna have the body slam up soon. Lands that there, but here comes Annie. Here comes Kikis. This is not ideal now for C9E. They turn back onto Kikis' Wukong. He's gonna get away with this one with the decoy. I-Has still around. Puts some damage across, but not much more.
It's a good ulti there by Nick to prevent some of the damage dealt to him. A lot of the times as Kayle, your ulti in lane is to just prevent the burst from happening to you instead of saving your life at the very end.
Oh yeah.
So we saw it when he first leveled up the Kayle, saving himself from the ignite. But usually against such a bursty champion, you want to use it to prevent the burst and the brunt of the damage. Keep yourself alive. But good rotation there by Perm. And now all 3 outer turrets are down for Departed, and Cloud9 Eclipse need to find deeper objectives and deeper warding to continue the pressure that they've had on the map.
So let's see if they can keep that one going. 200 gold now separates these teams. Closest game we've seen in the Challenger Series in a while.
Both these guys are top tier.
Oh, yeah.
They're basically the first and second place teams in regards to performance.
Yes.
They are so strong all across the board. And Cloud9 Eclipse have kept the same roster. And Departed changed 2 players out.
Yeah.
And they told me that they felt like they were a lot stronger now with those 2 new players, despite it not being like a change that they initiated.
Yeah.
Just because the players couldn't play anymore.
Yeah.
But now they feel like they picked up 2 really great players to their roster.
And they have.
And now they're even better.
You're showing it.
They're showing it, exactly. And oh, Kiki's coming top. Babunia here on the Odwamne.
2-on-1, not ideal, but here goes Pantheon around the back. He's going to wait for the Cyclone to end, goes in for the stun, lands it on a Kikis. Damage coming through from the red buff. Cleave is going to keep him from chasing that one down, though. Good disengage.
There's a timeline on this gank, though, because Kayle is coming up top. They pinged him out, and if he makes it there in time, they can't stop it.
Can't stop it. Nicely played, but now Odwamne down to half HP. Pantheon's nearby. I-Has decided to stay around. Slows on Odwamne, Ignite on as well, 800 health, 500. 1 hit's gonna kill him, takes him down. Nick 760 solos out that poor little Trundle.
They saw Nick coming from the middle with that ward, they pinged him out. Gragas decides to go bottom, and Bevan thought he could make something happen there. He's not able to. And now that top lane, transitioning over to the mid and trying to create even more picks here. Taking control of the enemy jungle. Oh, that's a double whammy right there.
Will they kill 2 wards? 1 more hit. Oh. Yeah, the wards go down. Kikis gonna grab the red buff as well. 108 gold with concentration stacks. Always feels so good. You see like the gigantic number come up. You're like, I get more than 100 gold for that camp. Yeah.
I basically killed a third of a person.
Yeah.
It's really good. And you'll do that every 40 seconds.
You just call the lizard not a person.
Are lizards people? Are we about to have like dolphin rights
is
too?
Renekton a people? He's a crocodile.
It's a crocodile.
Are crocodiles just better than lizards?
Yeah.
Here we go. Fabivin holding on to the mid lane. These guys haven't been fighting. They kind of haven't been fighting for objectives as much as they have just fighting to find kills, because of the ability of them to just surprise them. Right? The man drops coming in out of nowhere saying, "Surprise, we're fighting you."
Yeah.
And just kind of going for it, hoping for advantages.
I like both of these team compositions this game because they both have team fight and objective control potential, as well as burst. Basically across the board, we have pretty much mirrored. It's bully bottom lanes with some initiate, but some disengage from Zyra. Mid laners, you know, they're just bursty here. A little bit more utility for Nick, but then heavy ganking junglers. So there's a lot of action early on. And then when objectives come around, they both can contest them and cause a lot of threats. So lots of threats across the board.
Ton of threats here. And I got to really commend Kikis, though. 4-1-1. 5 of his team's 8 kills on his shoulders. Done a very good job, especially that time he counter-ganked Pantheon. Right at like level 7 or so. Such a good move to read that one and be there in time for it. Turn that one around completely. Really set Departed up for success here. I want to see what else they can do with this one. I got to point out, though, by the way, Yernan's build. So he went Bloodthirster into Zeal, and then he added a BF sword. And then he's still going towards Phantom Dancer.
He's been landing immense Piltover Peacemakers.
Yeah.
Sniping people out. He's not afraid to use the 90 caliber net to shoot himself towards his enemy.
Yeah.
We've seen him do it twice already on screen. I'm pretty sure he's done it more than that. But Caitlyn, a very attack damage based champion, but he just wants to make those crits and headshots even better. So as soon as he completes the Infinity Edge, which was a very slow item for him to come out last time,
True.
gonna have a huge impact. Doesn't care about Last Whisper.
It's fine. I mean, there's only one big armor tank, and that's Mundo.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that ends up stopping Yernan here in the team fights.
I do like Kiki's buying the Randuin's Omen, because that's going to allow him to use the Cyclone, then slow people on top of it.
Yeah.
And just get all of that damage down and force them to flash if they don't want to eat the brunt of it.
I like it too.
So up in the top lane, Babunya doing a lot of damage to that turret. Not really.
Not taking much damage either. The damage goes in onto Willet. The knockback. Oh, ulted by Kale. 2 ults blocked by intervention. Kikis hits the claw and runs away. The knockup's going to come across. He doesn't hit it for a while. There comes Tibbers as well. Kikis trying to stay alive. He will go down to then flash the way. I has dropped low in this team fight. 2 for 1 so far in the favor of the part to make that 2 for 2. The fight still going on. 3 now dropping from C9E as Babunya joins the fight. Woolite versus Yernan. Who's going to win that fight? Yernan's going to lose that one. Now Voidal in the middle of the enemy team. He's going to hit a plant and go down. 5-4-2 in this fight. Departed come up huge.
Ace and Dragon for them. They show that they have the dominance to take on this team fight. It didn't look like it was going to go well for them at the start, but they just eventually trickle in, and the ultimate from Kiki's was a little late, but still to great effect because of the follow-up from Perm. They get a Dragon, they're going to get a turret, take a kill lead, and an immense gold lead here for them. Biggest one we've seen in the game yet.
There we go. 5,000 now, putting Departed ahead here. What a wonderful mid-game turn for these guys. The Babunya teleport again, 2-0 and 5. He just keeps showing up to these fights and making things happen. Kiki is part of 9 of 13 as well. Huge ups there. And I gotta also commend Nick. The intervention blocked 2 ultis, the Gragas ulti and the Caitlyn ulti. Very big.
Yeah, and Trundle doesn't really start to get that oomph in his kit until the mid-late game, but same thing with Mundo. And the map impact he's been having is huge. You talked about the 205, the stats that he's been buying for himself.
Yeah.
You don't build any damage in his kit. He's just a big blocker and slow with the cleavers, coming up big there against Yernan, who could have cleaned up that team fight if it wasn't for that pesky Mundo.
Meddling Mundos making things sad. Unfortunate for these guys. And you got to wonder, you know, Mundo could have been a ban this time around for C9E. They wanted Lulu in there. They wanted Cassidy in there. They wanted Elise in there. C9E said, yeah, you know, Babunya, play Mundo again. They might be regretting that decision right here because of how well he's been playing that champion. Fabivin grabs his sweeper. 3 on both sides already, 25 minutes in. There were 3 on both sides last game. Once again here. C9E again look like they want to keep the pressure mounting, though. All 5 near the mid lane.
Babunya off on the side. Here comes Kikis.
Going to be an engage onto IHaz. Not very good for the Panther. He's going to go down at the very beginning. Kikis is alive with the Kale ulti. And the battle will continue now. Odwamna trying to run away. The pillar helping him disengage from this one. The slow coming out from the Randuins. Babunya still in the front line. Still hitting him down. And the Ro8 now picks up another kill for Bibin. Getting chased away in the back lines. Kikis around there as well. Babunya just forcing everyone away. They're just trading blows. The mid lane turret goes down. Another 2-for-0 fight. C9E forced to run away.
Febevin hits really hard with his barrel rolls, but he's just not getting enough poke off. And Voidal goes down.
Oh my gosh, Ro8 just going up for that fight. Finds another one. 3-0 in the battle. 2 turrets. Looking for a third turret now as well.
Febevin, such low AP. Yerden coming in, HP. Yerden coming in here, and they're going to get this inhibitor. The first one of the game, but oh no, here comes IHaz into the back line.
Can he turn it around? What's he going to go for? A stun there onto Kikis. Can they get the kill onto Wukong? No, they turn Pantheon back around. No kill. Yerden finds one. Can he keep going? The Ignite actually going to make that kill happen from Febevin. He's chasing in with Body Slam. Yerden has ulti in about 15 seconds. Everybody in Departed fairly low. They're trying to run. Kale can haste. There's the Ascension. He's going to disengage.
And a wonderful team fight into the objectives there for Departed. IHaz tried to make something happen there. Grand Skyfall, not paying off for him, just gets picked up and locked out again.
Yep. Which
may actually have prevented them from doing Baron off of that.
And here they go. They're going to attempt it. They're going to stop. They sit in a ward. They should not be visible here, except that a ward would have seen Voidal come down and to the right. Disengage comes across Ro8. Ward over the wall. See these guys. No Baron bait this time around. Recalls for Departed. 8,000 gold and an inhibitor. C9E can either sit and try to farm, get the Infinity Edge on Yerden and try to scale themselves back into this game, or Departed could just push again and make this game even easier for them.
Both these teams accomplish the same thing like I said earlier. They're team fighting teams.
Yeah.
When one team gets ahead and gets a substantial lead, it is so hard to out-team fight the other. And you have to try and turn your composition into something that'll pick somebody off. But Departed is just going to continue to group up and force objectives. It's going to be a rough road here for Cloud9 Eclipse if they're going to try and get back into this game. I would say they'd have to make some picks.
Yes.
Or the explosive cast would be the key here to get it right in the middle, throw some priority targets at them, and then have Voidal separate the rest of the team from reinforcing that. That would be the golden ticket here for Cloud9 Eclipse, and it would have to be executed perfectly.
I want to see it. I want to see the awesome sort of golden ticket come through here for C9E. The separation, the man drop in the middle, the pillar, the knock up, everything. Let's see if C9E can do that to get themselves back in, because they're down about 9,000 gold. They've got a dead inhibitor. They're losing map control. Departed are starting to control the Baron area. Things are looking sour for the winners of the last Spring Series.
Yeah.
They're about to get 2-0 in the quarterfinals.
It's so funny to think about that, but Yerden caught out.
Oh man, the damage from Ro8 very high, takes him out. Nice ability rotation there. Yeah, things like that can't keep happening.
So Ro8 died very, very early on in the game.
Then he stopped.
And then he stopped dying. And Yerden started dying.
Yeah. Turn that one around. Uh-oh. All right, doesn't see him yet. There we go. They jumped in onto Febevin. The damage output is massive. Flashes over the wall. Ignite is on. The flash in from NIQ. Oh, there comes a little bit of a knock-up attempt to fight into the back line. Voidal low. He's going to go down. Now Kick is going to look for the knock-up onto Odwamna. Can't quite find. IHaz doesn't quite get it, but the damage might be enough. Yes, he does. Picks up the kill. 2-for-0.
They're going to start taking the turrets.
To the Nexus they go. Turret number 1's going to fall down. Turret number 2, the target of focus. Only Yerden and Odwamna are alive. This is going to be a 29-minute 2-0. Departed, taken down Cloud9 Eclipse in the quarterfinals.
And 2-0.
Yeah.
They just 2-0'd the winners of the first Spring Series.
Yeah.
They were previously knocked out in the round of 8 in a 2-1 match. They were the only people that Cloud9 Eclipse
even lost
feared.
a game to.
Exactly. That was huge. Departed secured their spot in the top 6 and their playoffs, and we want to see how far they end up going in this entire second Spring Series.
If they look like that,
oh yeah,
a long way.
Oh, and they also stopped Cloud9 Eclipse from being in the top 2 and getting a first round bye.
I'm pretty sure it's a guaranteed block right there. Yeah. So pretty incredible freaking game here, guys. Now that the first Challenger Series quarterfinal is firmly in our match history, let's check out the updated bracket. And thanks for their win, Departed moves on to the semifinals, where they're going to play the winner of Osomniac or Steve Bakes Cookies on March 20th. And of course, that match is tomorrow.
Yeah, and if we're going by team names, I think both of those teams are already winners, Freak. Osomniac, Steve Bakes Cookies. Right up there.
It's wonderful stuff. And of course, coming up tomorrow, it's the final day of European LCS's Super Week. The first of the 5 games will be between Alliance, who is actually 3-0 so far in Super Week, and the new first place team in the LCS, Gambit.
And then after the Super Hot Crew and the Copenhagen Wolves finish their fight, it's time for our second exciting quarterfinal showdown of the series, Osomniac versus Steve's Baked Cookies.
Glorious names. I just can't get over them. And of course, with that, we've got to say goodbye. But before we do, once again, thanks to our friends at Coca-Cola. Now for myself, Zyrene, and the entire live broadcast crew, good night. Thanks for watching.